What's up, guys? I just wanted to come to you and let you know that I know I've been absent from the YouTube space and I've been dealing with things in my life. And so what I want to do is I want to open up to you guys and explain to you what happened and why I've been gone. And I also want to spread light on what can go on when you pursue success. And so most of you guys believe that success equates to you being the most intense version of yourself, the most out there version of yourself, the most egoic, most higher embodiment personified version of yourself. But what I wanted to let you guys know is, dude, you have your entire life to fulfill your destiny and to be successful. And so I want you guys to take a deep breath in and to understand that the best version of you is the most balanced version of you. And so when you pursue success with such intensity, when you go back to my prior videos, there's this intensity which can be healthy in certain ways, but can also be detrimental to the human mind, to the physiological aspects of the body, to yourself. And so what I want you guys to understand is that take the lesson from me and understand that success should not be rushed. Success is not about perfectionism. Success is simply being able to navigate the realms of life at the highest of degrees. And so what I want you guys to understand is that although I've been gone, I've been able to recollect myself to a certain degree where I'm able to see from a higher perspective, because I had to suffer through a breakdown which allowed me to see from different perspectives and angles about what success truly is. And so on this journey of life, on this journey of success that we all go through, I want you guys to understand that it's not about being perfect. It's not about doing it right all the time. It's about giving effort and displaying focus and displaying the ability to move with the capacity and the bandwidth to handle what is directed towards you in life. And so what I want to touch upon today is what happened to me. And so if you guys go back to my prior videos, if you guys don't know my story, if you don't know me personally, well, this is the video where we're going to get into depth about who I am and what I represent and what I'm here to do. And so in my prior videos, you could see the enthusiasm, the optimism, you can see the energy. It's fluorescent and it's emanating and it's eminent and it's being emitted as a signal to the universe to direct oneself to a higher quality of life. But what I want you guys to understand is that although the energy was right and the energy was perfect, there was also a very intense side to who I was and who I was becoming. If you guys didn't know, 2 years prior, when I began the personal development brand, when I began NeotericDissolution, well, I was staying at my auntie's house in Virginia. And so if you guys don't know where Virginia is a place in America. Long story short, I lived there, grew up there, da-da-da-da-da. But what happened was there was issues going on. I got kicked out at 16. And so I was on my own. I was living at friend's house. I moved in eventually with my uncle. But what was happening was I wasn't in the environment which I believed was necessary for me to be successful. And I was always very success driven as an individual, always focusing on my development, always focusing on my character. And so what I want you guys to understand is that this led up to an event where I took a train to LA with only a bag and a couple $1,000s to my name. And what I did was I put myself out into the world and I said, I'm gonna get it. I felt like, I always used to say, I felt like a lion in a cage and I'm ready to break out because the meat's right in front of me. But what we have to understand is that success is truly a process, a procession that should not be rushed. You shouldn't force your way to success. It should be a thing of flow. And so what I want you guys to understand is that burnout is a real thing. And when you pursue success to such an intense degree, when you launch yourself into situations where you have to take that risk, you have to understand that taking risks is a positive thing. You should be a risk taker, but you have to understand that burnout is a real thing. And so what happened to me was I got burnt out. So long story short, I got into a psychosis where I couldn't even recollect. I couldn't even stand up to take a shower. It was horrible. And so I suffered through that. And what that allowed me to realize is that success should not be rushed. Success should be an unfoldment of flow. And so when you force your success, when you put yourself in predicaments where the situation may be difficult, you always have the capacity to come out that with higher levels of experience, which I did, which I built a brand, I built a space, I built a community. But all these things were done on the backhand of extreme stress, extreme anxiety. And the source of that was being in a predicament where I put myself in a situation where it was all or nothing. And so you have to understand that in the journey of success, you're going to fail. There's going to be moments where you question yourself. There's going to be doubt. There's going to be plants of doubt planted from other people. And so what you have to understand is that success, you should always allow your success to unfold in a state of flow. And you should never be building a shadow while focusing on your journey of success. You should never build a shadow, because the repression of self will lead to a cataclysmic voltage of outward momentum, like compressing a planet and then watching this planet be obliterated and imploding on itself. Like, you guys get what I'm trying to say. When you repress something so much, the pressure, it's gonna collapse in on itself. It's gonna explode. And so what happened to me is I exploded, and it happened to me in the most bewildering of ways. And so I just want you guys to understand that success should never be forced. And I wanted to come to you guys personally as not just NeotericDissolution, but as Mateo von Beckham. I wanted to come to you guys personally, and I wanted to lay down what has happened to me recently and why I haven't been online, why I haven't been on the space, why I've been making music instead of focusing on my craft, instead of focusing on my personal brand. It's because music was like an outlet for me to express the emotions that I was feeling. And so it was a 360 spin, like a complete personality change. And when you go through life building something at such a heavy voltage, when you go through life building something with such heaviness and intensity, and then like that, it's taken away from you, you have to understand that everything that has been built collapses down. And so what you have to deal with is that being down. And that's exactly where I was. And that's exactly what prompted me to make this video, is to get out of that, to realize that there is still an ascension, that there is still a success, that there is still a hope, and that there is still a way to proliferate beyond what has happened. Because most people are stuck in the past. And what you never want to do is you never want to let your past dictate your future. What you want to do is ground in the present moment, like right now with me, as you ground with me and you listen to what I have to say about me personally. Because if you truly are a fan, if you truly care, well, you have to understand that I'm a human as well. And we're all prone to difficulties in life. We're all prone to things that may happen to us. And it's time to shed light on what has happened to me. It's time to open up to you guys, because I know you guys are supporters and I know you guys support me, and I appreciate that a lot. And to leave you guys hanging just goes to show, like, you know, that me personally, I also have things to work on. And so it's about being able to recognize that flaw and to integrate the shadow aspects of self back into that higher version of self, back into that higher alignment. Guys, the shit that happened to me was so fucking deep that I don't even want to go too much in depth with it. But what I would tell you is, when you are on that savage mode, when you are on that building of success, watch out for your backhand, because you have to understand that on the back end, you may be pushing the limit in negative expenditures like anxiety or discomfort or things of such. And it's okay to put pressure on yourself. It's okay to take risks. If anything, that's a good thing. But it's not okay to build or to suppress a shadow because you're so hungry for this one thing, which is success, which is money, which is wealth, which is power, which is influence. You don't want to overexpend yourself in these aspects, because you will mess yourself up in the long run. And so I'm going to get back to making content. We're going to grow sharper every day. But I am in the midst of a recovery because I blew a fuse persisting at such a degree, which, imagine driving your car at the maximum capacity every fucking day. I mean, your car is eventually going to burn the fuck out. And so what you have to understand is that when you are on your journey of success, beware of your burnout. Beware of the things which are on the shadow interior of yourself, of your mind, because a lot of people will fall through the same trap which I fell through, which is that success equates to intensity, but that's not the factual basis. You can be intense every fucking day. You can go 100% every fucking day, but the result of success itself is built through stacking wins every day. So intensity does not equate to showing up and giving it your all. Intensity and emotional intensity can create distress and disharmony within you. And so to lock in is a serious thing, and we should all be locked in. But to sit here and to tell you guys that you should go all in on your emotional intensity and your mental capacities would be bewildering, because that's exactly what burned me out. And so I just wanted to come to you guys, give you guys this video, and hopefully you can take notes, you can take lessons. And I'm definitely going to be back on the channel. I'm going to be back on the space. I make music. If you haven't listened to it, it's Purge VC on SoundCloud. And I've put my feelings down on how I felt in the moment of distress and disharmony within myself. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm doing a lot better. I feel a lot more like myself. I still have these micro tensions that I need to work on and the flaws that I need to work on myself. But here we are in the present moment, ready to move forward and work on ourselves at the highest of degrees. It's that fucking simple. Peace.